Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Let's moving to the next part, that is regarding the functions of accounting. What is functions of accounting? Which are the important functions of accounting? Accounting performs the following functions. Its concern is maintaining a complete and systematic records. So it means that how the company is maintaining the records in the books of accounts. Here the accounting is to maintain a complete and systematic records of a business transactions and post them into a ledger accounts and to prepare the financial statements, that is balance sheets and profit and loss account. So that means this is the first important functions regarding the books of accounts. Second is communicating the financial results to various parties. Various parties, it means external stakeholders or internal stakeholders. It means that whatever the accounts has been prepared, that would be communicated to all the external and internal parties, those who are actually associated with the particular business. They willing to know that what amount of changes has been occurred in the business of accounts. Protecting the assets of business another. So in that case, how to protect the business to maintain a systematic records of various assets such as cash, bank balance, inventories and other debtors balances. It enables the management to keep a proper control over them. So the company is willing to identify and protect all these assets in the business and actually identify the regular changes of working capital in the business to maintain the regular routine transactions. Providing assistance to management. How it would be helpful to assist the management? It provides a timely information to all management people to assist how and what type of immediate decision has been required to improvisation of their profitability as well as the business transactions through the different tasks of planning, controlling and decision making. Next is trusteeships. Trusteeships is very important functions of the accounting. It helps the management is entrusted with the task of controlling the resources of the enterprises and try to identify the optimum utilization of all the resources in the business. This is what all about a trusteeship of the concern. Compliance of legal needs. How actually identified all legal aspects of the particular business and whether the company is provide and working under all the legal laws like a Companies Act, Income Tax Act, Municipality Act and the local bodies rules and regulations to be implied on the business, and they follow all the rules and regulations and do the business systematically for the concern. So these are the functions of accounting. Moving to the next point, that is the concept of bookkeeping, accounting and accountancy. Let's start with the first process of accounting economic transactions, that is all about bookkeeping. It would be divided into a 4-part. First is any economic transactions identified. So the first is you need to identifying the economic transaction, that's the first thing. Then you need to measuring the economic transactions, then it would be recorded and then the classifying. So it means that any economic transactions are actually comes into the picture, or if it would be identified, then the transactions of financial nature would be identified from the all various transactions. That is your first step. Then the second step is measure. It means that would be converted into a monetary terms. So identify transactions converted into a monetary terms and find out what amount of monetary values of that transactions. Then after the monetary values has been identified, then it would be recorded systematically in the specific books of accounts, and all the books of accounts would be identified. and then the transactions is recorded in the systematically in the respected books, then the classifying. Now, and after the recording in the books of accounts, it would be classifying in the ledger books. So in ledger books it would be identified. I'll take an example. Suppose there is one transactions regarding the purchases. Maybe there are many more transactions, that one is sales, then the other is purchases, but here if you have one transactions regarding the purchases, that means the A purchases the goods from B. So it means the transaction is, the purchase account is debit to B account, it would be credit transactions. Now we already identified it is an economic transaction, that's the first thing. Then we will try to identify the measuring. So what amount of purchase has been occurred in the business would be identified. Suppose they purchase 1000 rupees of goods, so purchase account debit 1000, to B account credit 1000, then it would be recorded in the systematically books of accounts in a journal book. This transactions is going to record in a journal book, purchase account debit to B account 1000 rupees. Now we will classify, and in classification of that we would be prepared two ledger accounts in the ledger book. One is a purchase account and other one is a B account, and we will be post both this transaction into a respected books of account. This is what all about classifying the concern. So this is what all about the transaction, economic transactions movement. There are 4 steps. Now we will try to understand what is accounting. Accounting would be divided into 3 important activities. There are 3 important activities for accounting. One is summarizing, then analyzing and interpreting, and then communicating. What is actually a summarizing? The classified transaction, once you classified all the transactions in the through the ledger books of accounts, now classified transactions would be converted and recorded in the financial statements, that is profit and loss account and balance sheet. So this would be a summarizing. Now after the summarizing, that means once the profit and loss account and balance sheet has been prepared, so once the financial statement is already prepared, now start the analyzing and interpreting of the particular financial statements, and would be identified that what amount of changes are actually occurred during the year. If you want to compare this year accounts with the last year's, and if you want to compare this year your accounts with the other same type of companies, you can compare and analyzing and interpreting through the comparisons within the company or with the other companies also. And then the communicating the informations to all the interested parties, whether it's an external stakeholders or an internal stakeholders. This was the meaning of accounting. And the last is accountancy. What is accountancy? It refers to a systematic knowledge of accounting concerned with the principles and techniques which are applied in accounting. It tells us how to prepare the books of accounts, how to summarize the accounting informations, and how to communicate it to the interested parties. It means that the accountancy includes bookkeeping as well as accounting. Accountancy includes both words, that bookkeeping is what and what is accounting. So this is what all about the comparisons of bookkeeping, accounting and accountancy. As such, it's a synonyms, but there is a minor difference, and there are differences between all these 3 words. This is what all about the differences of accounting, bookkeeping and accountancy. Moving to the next point, that is types of branches of subfields of accounting. As such, there are many type of accounting branches, but specifically if I want to explain you and tell you that which are the very important accounting branches, there are 3. One is a financial accounting, second is cost accounting, and third is management accounting. The first is financial accounting. The main objectives of the branch of accounting is to record the business transactions properly, to determine the profit or loss of the business by prepare the P&L account, and to know the financial positions of the business by preparing a balance sheet. Second is cost accounting. The main objective of the cost accounting is to ascertain the cost of product, to identify the what amount of cost of product for the manufacturing or as well as the services product regarding the cost of the particular product. It records and determines scientifically the accurate cost per unit of a product, job or a process, it also helps to estimate of cost and to control of the particular cost also. The third important thing is management accounting. The main purpose of this branch is to identify present of accounting information in such a way that so as to assist the management for planning and controlling operations of the business, as well as the controlling and taking a future decision for the improvisation of the business. This is what all about management accounting. What is tax accounting? Now there are a few more branches of accounting also. One of them, that is tax accounting. This branch of accounting is used for the tax purpose. It helps in the determination of income tax, sales tax and other type of professional tax and value added taxes. Another branch is social responsibility accounting. This branch of accounting is the process of identifying, measuring and communicating the contribution of a business to the society. That means what amount of contribution has been made by the business for the society could be identified through the social responsibility accounting. Another important branch is human resource accounting. These days this accounting branch is very much in actually limelight, because of the branch. This branch is actually identified the many technocrat companies, and IT based companies are actually using this human resource accounting presently. It is a result of a treatment on the balance sheet where the identified of all the type of expenses incurred on employees, it would be considered as a revenue expenditures. As a result, in the particular balance sheet, it would be showing and concerning part of the human assets, but because of the certain principles and knowledge, it would be identified that whether it would be considered as an human assets or not. The system of treating the expenses incurred on employees is revenue expenditure may not be proper. Because of that, because benefits are actually concerned in a very large scale or in a more than of the one accounting period, so maybe this branch of accounting is in a favor of showing a part of expenses on employee as an independent assets in the balance sheet. So what is the difference? The difference is that any expenditures incurred on our employee may not be considered as a revenue expenditure, but instead of that it would be considered as an human assets in the balance sheet and showing in the balance sheet as an individual assets, not as an expenditure. This is what all about the human resource accounting. Now moving to the next part, that is accounting as a source of informations and using of accounting information. Listen, as I already mentioned in earlier, accounting is a language of a business. It means that this is a language of commerce, or maybe this is a language of a business, or this is a language of the people who are actually having economic transactions and they are willing to record and they are actually interested to know how to record in the books of accounts. So accounting is a source of information and it involves the process of identifying, measuring, summarizing, communicating and all about how to consider and records in the books of accounts. So the users of these informations can be categorized as an internal users or an external users. Internal users may be a promoters, employees, or the debtors, creditors. The people are actually the person who are invested in the company are internal users. External users may be the banks, governments, financial institutions and other people who are actually having some or another way relations with that company or willing to know that what type of changes are occurred in the business, and they are considered as an external users. So this is what all about a second part of accounting as an introduction.
Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar Open University.